is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
We are back with another Mailbag episode featuring your emails and voicemails on all things Hallmark and Girls Gone Hallmark. Before we dive into your messages, a quick reminder, you can follow us on Instagram, where we are Girls Gone Hallmark.
Hey, we have a Facebook group. Come give us a join. Oh, you know what I really want to do here? I would love to shout out our wonderful Facebook admin team over there,
Okay.
Mackie and Brenda, who hold it down for us. They're the ones who are letting you guys in, and when you request to join, they do a really nice job for us. So I want to say thank you. But if you are looking for a Facebook group, if you're still on Facebook and you're looking for like-minded people who love Hallmark, this is the place to be. It's drama-free. It's a nice little corner of the internet still.
That's right. And speaking of things that are throwbacks, we have a phone number that you can call. You can email us, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. But if you just love to talk into the phone, you can leave us a message. Talk Hallmark, ask questions. We've got a couple of voicemails to read today, but that phone number is 949-329-8090.
What does the outgoing message say on there?
It says
Anything?
is
it you on there going hi, you've reached Girls Gone Hallmark, leave us a message? Oh, cool. I've never called it. What would be funny? I'm going to call it and leave a voicemail.
Okay.
Hey, this is your resident Hallmark hater calling. I'm curious to hear the outgoing message. Basically.
It's not highly produced, but I just wanted people to be aware that they were calling the right place.
Cool. Yeah, I would hope so. Because what if it just was beep?
Yeah.
And then people are
the
leaving
user you have
messages.
called is not available. Yeah.
Their mailbox is full because we're so highly popular.
All right, let's jump into these messages from our lovely listeners.
Can I start?
Please.
Our first is an email from Mandy regarding When Calls the Heart. Hi, ladies. I was wondering if the show you were trying to reference as a comparison to When Calls the Heart might be Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. I recently finished the 90s series and noticed the similarities. Boston-raised Michaela Quinn arriving in a small country town, hoping to help people and forming connections with interesting characters along the way. It's wild to think When Calls the Heart has been part of my life for over 10 years. I love the seasons that strike a good balance between drama and wholesome small-town charm. Looking forward to seeing Hallmark continue to create more high-quality series in different settings like The Way Home. Mandy. Well, if I may answer this, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman was not the series I was thinking of or was trying to reference when comparing When Calls the Heart. Remember when I was
I do.
trying to describe?
I do.
I've never seen that series. Have you watched Dr. Quinn?
No. Martha Quinn has the lady with the long hair, right?
Dr.
Quinn.
Yes, and
Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour. Okay, with the long hair, not Crystal Gale long hair, but long hair. Yes. Do you even know who Crystal Gale is?
I don't.
The country singer who has floor-length hair.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, there's no memory there for me.
And in a complete 180, Jane Seymour in the movie Wedding Crashers is not your Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
No,
She's
the mom.
wild in that movie.
Yeah.
That's who I think of when I think of Jane Seymour. I don't even clock Dr.
funny.
Quinn. But speaking of Dr. Quinn, we have another listener, Era, who I believe just jumped into that series and has been talking about it in our Hallmark Facebook group.
Well, would you like to hear a voice message from Era since you just brought it up?
For sure.
All right.
Hey, Megan and Wendy. This message is from Era. So this is probably going to sound super random if someone is not in the Facebook group and didn't see the post that I had said that I was looking for like a nostalgic show to watch. So I just wanted to let you guys know I've been watching Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, and I know I'm like extremely like decade late to this, but I was like 5 or 6 when this show came out in the early 90s. So I never watched it until now. So I am currently on episode 11 of season 1. And I just gotta say that this might be like one of the best shows I have ever watched. I am loving it so much. Like the 90s nostalgia is so like strong for me right now. I am so into like watching 90s stuff. So, I mean, I know it's not set in the 90s, but like 90s shows are totally my jam right now. So, if you girls have any recommendations of some really good shows from the 90s, that is what I'm looking for right now. So, I would love any recommendations for some 90s shows.
Well, first of all,
Have you seen 90210?
that wasn't where I was going to go. First of all, when she's like, I was like 5 or 6 in the early 90s. I graduated from high school in 1993. So way to make a girl feel old.
Made a face when she said she was a young child in the early 90s.
But that's okay. I have a ton of 90s recommendations, like shows from the 90s. Should I share them here?
Oh my gosh. Yes, please. I have some too, but yes.
Okay, first of all, My So-Called Life was a great one-season show. Jordan Catalano can still get it. Hot damn, love that show. Party of Five was also a great show. Kind of in the vein of family drama.
And Baby Lacey Chabert.
Baby Lacey Chabert, I completely forgot. Felicity, I just did a rewatch on that show. Oh, I loved it. Felicity was really good. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a really great show as well. Like impeccable writing on that show. Lots of comedy in kind of a weird sort of, vampire setting. Okay, what else is coming to mind? What else do you have?
Dawson's Creek.
Creek, very good. Also notice it's leaving. I think it's on like Hulu or Netflix. It's streaming somewhere, but is expiring in the next few days. So I don't know where else that's going to come up. But it's you can still find it. It's probably just changing streaming services.
Now I saw the note that this show that I'm about to say is getting a reboot. That is the show Seventh Heaven. It will be executive produced by Jessica Biel. No, it will not include
I forget
members of that cast. Stephen Collins.
Yeah,
It's not good. We're not going to get into it, but
okay.
I think we can guarantee he won't be involved.
Is Beverly Mitchell going to return?
There's no information. Like it's very early stages, but it has been greenlit for a reboot. I mean, Beverly Mitchell, she and I went to college together. As in we were on the same campus. We were not friends.
You guys, okay, if anybody has ever listened to any of our podcasts for any period of time, the number of celebrity name drops Megan makes for who she went to college with, it grows by the month. Beverly Mitchell is a brand new one to me.
It is. Beverly Mitchell's new. She's younger than me. Colin Hanks, Busy Phillips, and Alicia Silverstone are the others.
Mindy Cohn also.
Well, yes, but we did not go to school together. We went to the same school. But I was there at the same time at those other people.
Megan went to college in Los Angeles, if you haven't put that together yet. But yeah. Wow.
Freaks and Geeks is a show that I did not watch, but very popular in the 90s.
Speaking of Busy Phillips, yes. It was good. I did a rewatch of that within the last 5 years. I really enjoyed it.
Ally McBeal, also another 90s show that was a little weird, but I really loved Ally McBeal. Not a fan.
I liked it. I mean, the ooga chugga. But just woof. Oh, Sports Night was a great show. It was a comedy.
Aaron Sorkin, man.
And Megan's favorite, The West Wing.
Yeah, started in 1999, so it's barely 90s. Sports Night is not streaming, which is like the saddest thing of my life. I did buy the DVDs because I had never seen it, but it's a lot of work to like get up and put in a DVD when it like changes every 4 episodes. So I never watch it because I'm like, I need it streaming. It's too much. And then I'm like, because it's not tracking on my streamer, like my watch progress. I'm like, what episode am I on? I don't know. It's too hard.
Yeah.
So hopefully those were some 90s suggestions for you, Era. Thank you for that voicemail.
Yeah, if you guys have any other ones, please email us or give us a call and we will share them on the future episode.
We have an email from Beverly. She's talking Rachel Boston in this email. And it says, "Hi, gals. I'm listening to your fan favorites from last month, and I enjoyed them all. I especially loved Dating the Delaney's, as this is one of my favorite movies. Like you both, I have come to really love Rachel Boston. PT Dubs, there's going to be Rachel Boston news in our next Hallmark Headlines episode. I like the roles she has been given, and she plays them with what seems like great ease. I did enjoy the puns and the dad jokes. You also talked about Paul Campbell's character in his first movie. The character name was Grindley." Thank you, Beverly. "I think I started to really appreciate him after I watched that movie a few times. I do like Paul a lot also. I looked back to see if I could find a review on The More Love Grows with Rachel and the hottie Warren Christie. I could not find it. In my opinion, it is a great movie that deals with the couple's separation, their daughters moved to college, a new experience owning a dog, her relationship with her mom, etc." Man, I mean, do we need to watch that?
I know. I'm like,
If there are other fan favorites you may be reviewing in the future, I would suggest this movie. You may not have done it because it was originally shown on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. They did premiere it on the Hallmark Channel sometime after that. Also, Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater. I really think you should give it a try. I did like it a lot, and I think you both would as well.
Spoiler, we hated it originally.
We did, and it was also like this fourth movie we ever reviewed, and so we were coming at it from a very different place. I'm actually just looking to see when The More Love Grows came out. Oh, it was 2023. I wonder why we skipped it. Because
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe because it was on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
perhaps.
Well, I will say we have kind of a short running list right now of fan favorites people are requesting.
Yeah.
So
It was in August of 2023, and I think the reason we
summer.
didn't do it is because it's summer. Yeah.
Our next email is from Janice regarding Jesse Metcalf. I'm sure you've been buried with explanations, but I'm going to still add mine. If you didn't know, we reviewed the pilot episode of Chesapeake Shores. We came away from it with a lot of questions because we had learned that Jesse Metcalf did not stay throughout this entire series.
Yes.
So here is the explanation. Jesse Metcalf does leave the show and ends his relationship with Abby. There were more than one love triangle thrown in their path. The last season, Robert Buckley, and then in parentheses says, Junior. Janice is a listener. Robert Buckley comes in and becomes her love interest. The one thing that bugged me was that Megan Ori was pregnant more than once during the run of the show, but her character never was. Her pregnancies always seemed to be in the later months when filming, so she wore a lot of ponchos and carried huge bags. They never hit it very well and made it hard to suspend reality and see her relationships as terribly romantic. Gregory Harrison had a recurring role as Treat Williams' brother. I watched all of Chesapeake Shores, and I think I was annoyed by just I watched all of Chesapeake Shores, and I think I was annoyed by just about every character's behavior at least once. Regarding Jesse Metcalf, I think the Hallmark movie A Country Wedding, parentheses, have you reviewed that? You must. Jesse Metcalf in that movie put the teen characters he played in other movies out of my mind. He grew up good.
Oh.
I love he grew up good.
Me too. Maybe we need A Country Wedding as a Jesse Metcalf palate cleanser before moving on in Chesapeake Shores.
I
Yeah.
love that idea.
All
Thank
right.
you, Janice.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying our many, many questions. Hey, Jill emailed with a question about The Way Home. Throwback. She says, I have a question about The Way Home. As someone who has owned a farm, it seems to me that Del and Jacob don't really farm. Farmers get up early, don't have much spare time, and are super busy when it is harvest time. Del seems to have time to make pottery, sell things at the market, visit with friends, and canoodle with Sam. And Jacob hops in the pond and no one seems to mind the crops. I don't even know what they are farming. What happened to the small garden that the high schoolers developed that was in the front yard? Did that go away? I know we're supposed to suspend belief with this series. Perhaps it's the same belief we suspend when Kat seems to run a paper, but doesn't really. Was wondering what your thoughts were.
Good question. I don't know what they farm there. Do you?
I think it's no. But I think this is the same situation as how do the characters on Friends have so much time to spend in a coffee shop?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because it's
Interesting.
more interesting than watching them work.
That's funny. That is going to like really haunt my brain about what they farm there.
I mean, she has got
no
bees, right? There's honey, but you don't farm bees.
Yeah. No idea. No idea. If you guys know, give us a phone call.
Please.
Hey, back to Chesapeake Shores. This email is from Jamie. I found your podcast and started listening consistently based on the Way Home reviews. I was a loyal watcher, but not a deep diver. It took me till season 3 to connect Alice to Alice in Wonderland. LOL. Now I listen to most of your episodes. Most? Just kidding. I'm playing. I'm just kidding, Jamie. Now I listen to most of your episodes and have found some new Hallmark movies based on the April review. So thank you. I watched most of the original series on Hallmark, but hate so much how they ruined the Chesapeake Shore series. I read the book, so I came in with a lot of preconceived notions. That was probably my first mistake. The casting of Megan as Abby and Jesse as Trace was doomed from the start. So I wasn't surprised that they ended up not being endgame. In the first book of the series, they resolve their issues and get together, engaged or married, I can't recall. Yet in the TV series, 3 seasons later, after so many starts and stops, they break up. I understand having to slow play for TV, but this was ridiculous. I beg of Hallmark to stop buying books and turning them into series. They did the same with Cedar Cove, a little bit better, but not great. Thanks for your fun reviews. It's a nice break from the true crime podcast I also listen to.
Hey, girl, if you're Wendy's heart.
Fellow true crime podcast listener.
Do you still a lot of true crime?
When I have time, I enjoy it. It's a palate cleanser for me. That's what I prefer to watch and listen to. Sorry.
Interesting.
Not sorry.
You don't need to be sorry. It's funny that it's a palate cleanser. To me, I'm like, I need a palate cleanser after true crime.
Jamie, I need to know what true crime podcast you're into. Please email us back. Attention, Wendy.
Yeah. Our next email is from Allison, also in regards to Chesapeake Shores, who says, I recently had a long road trip and enjoyed catching up on your recent podcasts. Really loving your take on the Chicken Sisters. I don't have Hallmark Plus, so I'm enjoying these and agree a lot with your reviews. I think I like the show, but at times I don't.
Heyo, Team Wendy.
I was super excited to hear you did Chesapeake Shores. I love the books too. I would love to see you guys review a season over an episode or two. Way too much to do all of them and spread them out over the year. But was very taken aback by the talk on Jesse Metcalfe. I love him in this series and the mystery movies he did, plus some non-Hallmark. I hope you love him too if you watch this series more. I never really watched Desperate Housewives, though.
Desperate Housewives, another show from the 90s era.
Yeah.
90s? Maybe that was the early 2000s, but still.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yes, from that
Maybe we should
era.
check it out. Yeah.
I get a lot of Desperate Housewives clips fed to me on TikTok.
Random.
Yeah, for some reason, you don't get television clips on TikTok. The problem is you
No,
watch
I will.
one.
Thanks for mentioning it.
The
Now I
problem
realize I was
is
gonna
as
see
soon
it.
as you watch one, forget about it. You're going to
No,
see
I
it
get
all.
like daddy TikToks over what's his name, Noah Wiley on
Oh, yes. Yes.
edits people have made about him. I don't hate it. I like Noah Wiley as well. So yeah.
Hey, I wanted to address something that Allison says. She says, I would love to see you guys review a season over an episode or two. So after we did our first impression episode of Chesapeake Shores, a lot of people were like, we would love to see you do this series. And I was like, it's 55 episodes. It's a big commitment. However, several people were like, hey, you don't have to do an episode for every episode of the show. And a couple people were like, just do like they said, 2 episodes per season. So like first half, second half.
So I can be convinced to do that when this is some inside baseball. When the format is different, like when you're trying to put together like a show notes or a review and the format breaks from our typical, it gets hard to get started. Do you feel you feel me, Megan, on that?
Yeah, but couldn't the format just be the same? You're just combining 5. I don't know that the format needs to change.
Oh, yeah.
You're
I
just
see what you
combining
mean.
all of your thoughts from 5 episodes.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate it.
It's not going to happen until 2026. I'm telling you right now. I can see what is avalanching towards us, and it's not going to happen until 2026.
Yeah, you guys. So this, again, also behind the scenes. For summer, we already have our summer planned in terms of what we're going to review and like new series and new movies, right? And then we're going to get into fall and Christmas, and there's no extra time to do any extra reviews, basically. So then that leads us to January, where it's kind of lighter on Hallmark. So perhaps maybe that's where we can do it.
Perhaps.
I don't hate it. Like a Chesapeake's January.
Yeah, or Chesapeake summer even. It's not going
next
anywhere.
summer?
It's not going anywhere. And if you really want to get in the weeds, there's going to be stuff that's coming during the holiday season that we're not going to be able to cover that may fall in January. So who knows what 2026 holds. But if you have opinions on that coverage, send them our way, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com.
Another email regarding Chesapeake Shores from Christine. She writes, love the new Mailbag episode this morning. I was thrilled to hear your reactions to Chesapeake Shores. It was by far my favorite series on Hallmark until The Way Home started. Now they're both at the top of my list for different reasons. Maybe it's because I miss my dad and now Treat Williams too, but Mick's relationship with his kids really hit me in the feels. In my opinion, both shows have some stronger seasons and storylines, and then they both take some occasional dips too. Consider this my plea. I'd love to see you review Chesapeake Shores all the way through at some point in the future when it fits in the schedule. Maybe after all your kids are in college.
That is 3 years from now. Can you wait that long?
I hope you'll keep watching it when time permits because it is really a warm hug that tugs at your heartstrings with stunning scenery. Wow. I wonder if Christine is a listener of our other stuff. How does she know our kids are going to college?
Because it's all I can talk about.
Not on Hallmark, though.
Maybe. I don't know.
Christine, are you part of our Patreon?
I think we've mentioned it. I think we've mentioned our phase of life.
Oh boy,
I still got a younger one. I got 3 more years. The nest is emptying slowly around here.
I got 1 more year, but it's funny to me, and I have to always go back to when we did this. I mean, we've been doing Hallmark for many years now, but I remember pitching Chesapeake Shores in the summer, and we asked the fans, like our listeners, to weigh in, and it was like, nah, don't do it. It is a complete role reversal happening here.
I know. I asked this question on Instagram recently. Do you recall?
Mm-mm.
Because you said that, I dropped it in our stories. This story says, what's the interest level in a Chesapeake Shores recap series? And it like averages it. So the average answer is like 70% high. When you look at the responses, there's a ton of all the way to the rights. And then there's a few absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a couple like somewhere in the middle. But there definitely is quite a bit of interest who are like hard agree, fully in favor. I think of a series, of a recap.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate it. I enjoyed the show.
It's just a numbers game. It's just even if we're only recapping, even if we're only producing 10, 12 episodes of the series, it's still 55 episodes to watch. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So it's on the list. Consider
We
it
hear
on the
you.
list. Yes. Paula emailed. She's got thoughts on Chesapeake Shores and Love in the Clouds. And she says, great podcast again. I watched about 15 minutes and couldn't go on. She's talking Love in the Clouds there. I thought I'd wait for your review and see if I should go back and finish. No pressure. Thank you for saving me that time. The storyline about the retired father struck close to home and could be a good subject for a movie. I'm involuntarily retired and I hate it. There's just too much time to fill. I end up getting into debates with podcasters.
Heyo.
She says, I used to watch Passions. When I was an options trader on the Philadelphia Stock Exchange, there was a clerk who had a small TV in her booth that faced the trading crowd. Great for slow summer days. It was a weird show. There were all kinds of supernatural characters, including a doll that turned into a boy. The bad guy wore an ascot. That's not why I enjoyed work, though.
Creepy.
That's what I remember about Passions, is that weird doll boy.
I don't remember that at all. Well, wasn't even familiar with that show, but
Just from the
hearing that it
previews,
was
I didn't
kind
watch
of
it.
supernatural now, kind of, I feel like, yeah, like the commercials, were there commercials for it?
Sure, that's
Feels
the only
like
way
they
I know
were,
about
right?
it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. I have a note on Love in the Clouds. There was a funny comment in our Facebook group that said that perhaps we oversold Love in the Clouds, and I was like, oversold a movie I gave 1 star to. I laughed out loud. I thought it was hilarious. It was Facebook member Sandy. It was very funny.
That is funny. We did get a message saying that our episode was more enjoyable than the movie, so I appreciate it.
Hey. Skip the movie, listen to the podcast review of it.
That's right. Hey, Brenda sent an email talking Hallmark Plus. She also has some first impression series comments. So this one is a soapbox rant. In one of your episodes, you mentioned the awful technical end of the Hallmark Plus app.
Ugh.
I truly do enjoy the tremendous amount of content to choose from, including older movies and series, and I like the way it's now organized. But oh dear God, the navigation issues have exponentially increased the cussin' every time I use it. My Apple TV manages the streamers, and I forget that the Hallmark app isn't smart enough to rewind or forward without starting it at the beginning. Thus, the curse words flying. Surely, if Netflix, Prime, and Hulu can do it, Hallmark can hire a programmer who can figure out how to fix the navigation on its app, too. Pause. I agree, Brenda.
I was going to say, I so hard agree as well. The amount of screaming I did the other day trying to get through freaking Kiki's fourth ingredient and having to like start it over 1,000,000 times. Oh my God.
Yeah, listener Michelle sent us a video. She's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I can fast forward and rewind. And she sent me a video of her doing it. Now she listens on a Roku, and she was, maybe the technology works better. The only way I can fast forward and rewind is if I open the Apple TV remote on my phone and use like the slider, but we can't do it any other way. And the other day my husband was watching a movie downstairs, and he came up and like fired it up on the upstairs TV, and he tried to rewind, and it went to the beginning. He's like, forget it. He's like, it's not even worth it. I'm not going to finish it.
Yep.
It was so annoying. So yes.
Why can't they get it right? I don't understand. Are you telling me Hallmark does not have the money to put into the tech behind their app? Give me a break.
I know, because I really agree with Brenda that I like so many other things about it, especially
Same.
like they finally made this an app that people wanted, where it's like next day content. They have all their content there. Like if you don't have cable and you want Hallmark, this is the place to go in terms of what they have there. They're adding like syndicated content. I love it, but it's a pain to use. So
I'm begging Hallmark, please.
beef it
And
up.
they don't listen to this, but please fix the freaking tech side of it. Oh my God.
Brenda goes on to say, regarding your first episode impression of a series, consider checking out Heartland. You'll never recap the whole series because there are a zillion episodes over, I think, 17 seasons. It's a series about a ranching family that rescues, rehomes, and works with troubled horses. There are a lot of interesting characters and storylines. I've been watching it off and on through the years and start watching the characters evolve and age, the main character being a teenager when it started in 2007, which is the year my oldest child was born, who will be an adult this month. So, wow. And it's still going. I would be interested in your impression.
And we'll add it to the list.
Our goal is to do all of the series that are on Hallmark Plus at some point.
Is it?
That was the plan.
That's new news to me.
No, we were going to do a first impression of all of them at some point.
Okay. All right.
We're doing Sue Thomas FBI. I mean,
I am not looking forward to it.
but we don't know when the next round of first impressions will be.
Yeah, but I do love the series. It is kind of fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. Our next was a DM from listener Michelle regarding Audrey Hepburn and Coal Valley. First, she says, the name got changed from Coal Valley to Hope Valley after a mine accident where most of the men in the town died The town didn't want to be known for coal anymore. Now they had hope to rebuild. That's nice. It's kind of weird though, right? God, I mean, like how much like tragedy can you put on this town? Jeez.
Well, I think it's the accident that happens in the first episode is what she's referring to.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And then Michelle asks, Wendy, are you thinking of Audrey Hepburn and My Fair Lady? Michelle, yes, that's who I was thinking of, but it doesn't totally work for the comparison I was trying to make.
Michelle also sent a voicemail on a completely unrelated note.
Hey, Megan and Wendy, I have a question about the Hallmark content lately. Do you think with the addition of all of the reality shows and the football movies and the sports things movies, do you think Hallmark is trying to reach a wider audience, like Wendy, former Hallmark hater, by adding all of these additional types of shows? And on the flip side of that, do you feel Hallmark is going to really like original? I want Hallmark to escape reality so good. I know how the movie's gonna end. Hardcore Hallmark viewers that go to Hallmark for that. I love the reality shows that are on here, but that's not what I go to Hallmark for. I was just curious on your thoughts.
What do you think, former Hallmark hater Wendy?
Well, this is funny. Last year when they rebranded Hallmark Plus, I was like, of course I can, from a business sense, I see what they're doing. They're trying to capture a bigger market, right?
Mm-hmm.
The streamers. But then that kind of like busted, and now they're like, okay, well, maybe let's make some movies that appeal to other people than our core Hallmark fans. I don't know. I kind of think they're just like throwing everything at the wall to see like what sticks. Yes, I think they need a bigger audience. And I think that's what they're trying to do to find it.
Yeah, I think absolutely. The NFL crossover is, in my opinion, 100% attempt to reach a larger audience. I think that's what the reality programming is doing. The question about do you think they're going to lose their hardcore viewers? My feeling is that as long as they're continuing their focus on, those Saturday movies that are still in line with the Hallmark brand, so to speak, I don't think they're going to lose those people. But I don't think the problem I think they're going to have is in business, you should have your ideal customer, right? You should be able to describe who your ideal customer is. And it seems to me that if you know who your ideal customer is, all of your products should serve that person. And at some point, if you have multiple ideal customers, it might become challenging to focus your content.
Yeah, like they're trying to convert customers to their other programming.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they can do it. I don't know.
Should be interesting. All right, that's a wrap on this week's Mailbag episode. Thank you for listening. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews in the podcast app you're listening in. But I really am counting those reviews on Apple Podcasts because I set a goal is 200. Can we get there? We can do it with your help. We'll be back with more Hallmark reviews next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.